Hello there, Nareg is here. Today I'm going to talk about how are we supposed to multiply a vector by a real number. Now, let's start. Let's say we have a certain vector u, which is different than 0, and I'm going to multiply it by a certain real number, let's say it k, which is again different than 0. So we will obtain k times u. What do we mean by k times u? This is our vector u. Let's say k was equal to 3. What happens if k is equal to 3? So we will obtain a new vector v, which is equal to 3 times u vector. How do I represent? Very simple. The same thing as u, but 3 times its magnitude. So this will be your vector v. V is 3 times u. Now what if k was equal to -2? We will have a new vector w, which is equal to -2u. Now in this case you will have a vector which is represented in the opposite direction, and it has the magnitude which is 2 times the vector u. So this is the vector w. So whenever I'm multiplying my vector u by a certain real number k, which is different than 0, what is it that remains the same? Whatever is remaining the same is the direction, or I can simply say that the vectors, the resultant vectors, are all going to be collinear, or they will have the same direction or simply parallel. So as you can see, u is parallel to v, and it is also parallel to w. So the same direction, same sense if k was positive, just like k is equal to 3. Opposite sense, opposite orientation, if k is negative. Alright, what about the magnitude or the value? Let's say u was equal to 5. The magnitude of u is equal to 5. So the magnitude of v, I'm going to write it down here, will be equal to 3 times the magnitude of u. So it will be equal to 3 times 5, which is 15. Now what about the magnitude of w? The magnitude of w will be equal to the absolute value of -2 times the magnitude of u. So it will be equal to 2 times 5 is equal to 10. So even whenever you have k positive, you can also say that it's the magnitude of 3, is the absolute value of 3 times the magnitude of u. So in the general form, if u, it has a certain magnitude, the new vector in question, which is v, let's say, its magnitude will be equal to the absolute value of k times the magnitude of u. So this is what is actually important. In order to find the new vectors, you simply have to keep in mind that the direction will remain the same. The sense will be the same if k is positive. The sense will be the opposite if k is negative. Now, what are the properties related to the multiplication of a vector by a real number which is different than 0? So the properties related to this part are again quite simple. Let's say we have a plus b times the vector u. A plus b represent, of course, real numbers. You can say that it will be a times u plus b times u. Example, of course, 3 plus 7, it will be 10u. It's the same thing. It's not going to change. So this is the general form. What if you had a times u plus v? The property says that you can write it down as a times u plus a times v. What about a times b times v? You can say it's ab times v vector. It's simple. The examples are very simple in this case. I'm gonna take a few examples. Why not? So let's say we had minus 3 plus 2 times u. You can say it's minus 3u plus 2u, which is equal to, of course, minus u. In case you had 4 times u plus v, you can write it down as 4u plus 4v. And what if you had 3 times minus 2v? You can say it's minus 3 times 2 times v, which is, of course, equal to minus 6v. So these are the examples which are related to the properties in this case. That's all for this video. This was the video where I was talking about how to multiply a vector by a real number. Of course, the real number should be different than 0. Why don't you subscribe to my channel? Whenever I upload new videos, you will be notified. And of course, I can share with you my Instagram and Facebook account. You can contact me directly, or you can simply leave a comment below. That's all for today, and see you next time.